Alright guys, Mr. T here with your next video. Hopefully most of this is revision, but this is going to help you out with exercise 7.8.2. Probably use it as a refresher, okay? Just remember that the perimeter of a figure is the total distance around its boundary, whatever shape that is. So for any polygon, and a polygon is any shape with straight edges, the perimeter is just the sum of all the length of its sides, because those sides are all straight. The only time you have to think about things differently is if you got circles, alright, and or curved edges. And just keep in mind that the perimeter of a circle is known as the circumference. Okay, so let's get into it. Here's some common perimeter formulae that you should be familiar with. You should have covered these in earlier years. If not, they're here anyway, and they're in your book. So the first one is the square. Obviously, a square, the very definition of it is a four-sided shape. All sides are the same length. So the perimeter is going to be 4 times whatever the length of one of those sides is. A rectangle, on the other hand, is a quadrilateral that has 2 shorter sides that are the same length and 2 longer sides that are the same length. The shorter sides you'll generally refer to as the width, and the longer sides you'll refer to as the length. And so the perimeter of this is 2 of the shorter sides, because they're equal, plus 2 of the longer sides, because they're equal. Now we get to the circles. Firstly, you get some definitions out the way. A circle has a diameter, which is a line that goes straight through the center from one side of the circle to the other side. That's called the diameter. And the radius is a line that goes from the very center of the circle to the outside edge. That's called the radius. And just keep in mind, see this arrow here, if I turned it up and then put it over the diameter here, it would be exactly half. So a radius is going to be half of the diameter. So that's going to be useful in some questions. The circumference is going to be pi, which is like 3.1416 blah 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 blah. You can use the calculator figure for pi. That will be more accurate. Or you can just say that you're rounding to 3.14, but you need to say that in the question. So the circumference of a circle straight up is pi times by the diameter, so the line straight across. Or keep in mind, if you don't have the diameter, that the radius is half the diameter. So if you only got the radius, well, the diameter is going to be 2 times by whatever the radius is. So you could also have the circumference as 2 times by pi times by r, and that's because the radius is half of that diameter. Lastly, the only complicated formula here is a sector. So that's a slice, like a pizza slice, to the center of the circle. For you to be able to work out these questions, you're going to have the angle there. And remember, angles, if you turn in a circle all the way around, it's called a 360-degree turn. So you need to know the angle there to know what fraction of a circle you have. And so what you're doing here in this first section, this first part here, that is telling you the fraction. That's the fraction of the whole circle that you have, and that'll tell you the length of the curved part. And then you're adding the 2 radiuses on either side, because they're going to be the same as the slice goes to the center. So your full formula is fraction of the angle, sorry, not the fraction, the angle over 360 here, that we designate theta, times by 2 times pi times by r, which is the circumference of a whole circle. That gives you the fraction of the whole circle that you have, plus the 2 radiuses, and that will be your perimeter of a sector. So just to go through some examples, here we have, find the perimeter of a square with sides 5 centimeters long. Well, perimeter should be black. Go over that. Perimeter is going to be 4 times by the length of one of the side, which is 5. So it's going to be 4 times by 5. It's going to be 20 centimeters perimeter. Done. Find the perimeter of a paddock with fences 20 meters long and 40 meters long. So we're told it's a rectangle. The shorter sides are going to be 20 meters. The longer side is going to be 40. So perimeter is going to be 2 lots of the 20 meter fences plus 2 lots of the 40 meter fences. 2 times 20 is going to be 40, plus 2 times 40 is going to be 80. That's going to be 120 meters perimeter. Find the circumference of this circle. So circumference, special name for the perimeter. Circumference is going to be, we don't have the diameter, we do know the radius, which is 10, so it's going to be 2 lots of pi times by r. It's going to be 2 lots of pi times by the radius, which is 10. That's going to end up being 20 lots of pi, and I just need to grab my calculator. Give me a sec. Probably should have prepared that earlier, but when you do stuff live, that's what happens. So 20 times by, and so if you got a Texas Instruments calculator, it's second and the little hat symbol on the right side, just above the division sign, it will give you pi to a lot of decimal places, and so that comes to 62.83 centimeters, and I'm rounding to 2 decimal places. Alright, so that is the circumference of the circle done. Now the only complicated one here, circumference, you're going to call it perimeter because the circumference is the perimeter of a circle. This is not a circle, this is a sector, so you have to call it perimeter again. It's got straight sides, so it's going to be the angle 30 over 360 times by the whole circumference of the circumference of the circle, which is 2 times by pi times by the radius, which is going to be 15. This gives you the fraction of the circle you have here. So that's going to be the curved end, the curved side, plus 2 lots of 15. So 30 divided by 360 is 0.0083 recurring. I'm going to times that by 2 times by pi, the calculator. That comes to 0.5235987. Yeah, it keeps going, and then I just need to times by 15 now. So that comes to 7.85. Sorry, I should have put the almost equal to signs. I forgot about that. 7.85, and I've rounded that to 2 decimal points. Plus 2 times by 15 is 30. So that's going to be 37.85 centimeters to 2 decimal places. Okay, so what the calculation has told us is that curved end is going to be 7.85 centimeters long, and you've got 215, so it's going to be 37.85 in total perimeter of that shape. So that is that video on some basic perimeter of shapes, and I will see you on the next video. Mr. T out.